I'd like to share with you our PCI Express 3.1 compliant root port. So on this side, you can think about this as a motherboard, all the way from the ARC processor down through the HAPS DX7 containing the Synopsys PCI Express core and the Synopsys Gen 3 PHY, as well as through the backplane. On this side, we have the endpoint with the Synopsys PHY, as well as another HAPS DX7 board with the Synopsys PCIe core inside. And then down below here, we have the LaCroix PCI Express analyzer. So data is going to flow from the endpoint all the way through the analyzer and through the backplane and back up into the system memory. So this first digit is what the prototype is capable of. The second digit is the current gen rate that it's transferring data at. And the last two digits are the encoded LTSSM state machine. So we can currently tell that we're sending data from the endpoint all the way through into system memory at Gen 3 8.0 gig. In the GUI, what I'm showing is that the endpoint is doing memory reads into system memory with a throughput of about 766 megabytes per second. Now, using the LaCroix PCI Express analyzer, we're able to show the actual memory read packets that are going across from the endpoint into system memory. One more thing that I wanted to show you before I change the rates at all is that because we're using the Synopsys PHY, what we're able to do is generate an eye diagram on the fly of the incoming eye. So we have quite a bit of margin here. And then for the last part of the demo, what I'd like to do is to show you how we can change rates. Now, the ARC processor is actually running just a Linux kernel, and because of that, we can do an lspci command. And from that, we can see that we have a Synopsys root complex, Synopsys' vendor ID of 16C3, and then our endpoint, also Synopsys' vendor ID of 16C3. What we can do is we can use standard set PCI commands to change rates. Here we're going to change the target link speed to Gen 2, and then we're also going to hit the set retrain link bit. And what that just did is that negotiated the link from Gen 3 down to Gen 2. And to correspond with that, you can tell that the throughput has changed down to 400 megabytes per second. We can do the same thing down to Gen 1, and you'll notice that the throughput goes down to 200 megabytes per second. And then finally, let's go back to Gen 3. Now we're back up to about the 766 megabytes per second. This is a very powerful platform for any interop testing that you would like to do. In fact, on the Linux side, you can write any sort of scripts and do any sort of testing you'd like. Thank you for watching.